Hi guys, Molweni. Welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome to another video. If you're joining me for the first time, thank you so much for being here. And if you are returning, I'm glad to have you here once again. Please, if you have not subscribed to this channel, please do so. I'm seeing that people are watching the videos but not subscribing. So please do subscribe, please do share the channel with someone that you know, and please hit the thumbs up button if you are enjoying it. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear your feedback. Alrighty, so getting straight into today. So there is an executive that I know, right? And every time that we speak about wellness in the wellness space or whatever the case may be, this person always mentions spa dates, going to do your nails, booking yourself a manicure, going to do a facial, and and like that is the level of wellness that they speak about. Like that is all they ever speak about. And it's, for me, I found it to be so disappointing because as an executive leading in corporate organizations, I'd expect that the conversation may be deeper, because while yes, self-care is all of these things, wellness is all of these things, but the soft things are not wellness and self-care in its entirety and in its wholeness, right? The soft things are good, the soft things are nice, and we ought to enjoy them, but we cannot fully enjoy them if we don't do the hard things, and there's hard inner work that we need to do in order for us to ensure that we have a better relationship with ourselves and that we have a better relationship with the people that we have in our lives. So it does not just end at going on a spa date, for example, with a friend and sipping on some things. It doesn't end there. If with that very same person, and even if that person is yourself, if you don't have the hard conversation, if you don't confront certain things, then it's all fluff and it's all over the top, and there's no actual real work that is being done, and there's no actual real benefit. So I as I was thinking about this, I thought of a topic, right? Which is actually a title inspired by a topic, rather, inspired by the title of a poetry collection that I published about 2 years ago. And I've got it here with me. The poetry collection is titled My Scars Are Now My Beauty Spots. A real gem, so close to my heart. And that's what I want to speak about today. I want us to speak about our scars becoming our beauty spots. And I've had a couple of people and in a few conversations where it's come up to say, but how do we get to a place where our scars are our beauty spots? It's how do, what work do we need to do? What does it look like? What does that feel like? And I just want to read an extract from the book, and this is part of the introduction that I wrote. And it says, "The truth about pain is that it leaves scars where it once existed. I felt and believed that all my scars were visible to the world, and that it was through those scars that the world saw me. Everyone else in my eyes was beautiful and owned their right. They shined so brightly, and the further I was from them, the better, because it then meant fewer people got to see me and to see the scars I had. Emotional, psychological, and physical scars, some self-inflicted and some caused by others. I missed something though, and that was ownership. Self-inflicted or not, these were my scars, my life, my lessons, my growth, and my truth. I needed to own that because it was mine, and it would never belong to anyone else but me. It would never belong to anyone else but me. And so, really, the first step, and I mainly speak on personal experience, because I believe in speaking about things that I've been through, so that I'm not speaking theory. Yes, as studied as I am, and as qualified as I am as a life coach, but I really believe in speaking sometimes from experience, because, and then it's not just textbook information. And so the first thing for me is really that if we want to see our scars becoming our beauty spots, if we want to get to that point where we see them that way, then we've got to be accepting. We've got to be accepting of ourselves. We've got to be accepting of our journey. We've got to be accepting of the multi-layered nature of our stories. Because if we don't accept ourselves, then there is no way that you can see good in something that you don't accept. There is no way that you can appreciate something that you don't accept. If someone gives you a gift that you don't accept that gift, you can't appreciate that gift. You can't say, oh no, I'm not going to take it, but I appreciate it so much. Right? And whatever it is that we don't appreciate, we don't get to see the good in it, you know. So really the first thing is for us to be able to accept. We need to get to that point, and then we need to be willing to do the things that will bring us on a journey back to ourselves. Okay, I remember one time my husband said to me that I don't communicate with him, and I was like, what do you mean? And he said this at a time where I really felt like I was putting in so much effort in our communication. And when he explained it, and then he further referenced it to something that I had said to someone, and I actually had never said to him, right? And this was pertaining how I felt about a certain matter. And then I was like, you're actually quite right. Now that you mention it and now that you've put context to it, I understand what you're saying. And I explained why I hadn't communicated that to him. And so him and I are both very strong-headed people. We are both very opinionated people. And so sometimes I just like concede and be like, okay, no, it's fine. It's going to happen in your way, although it's like I concede my opinion. But as with most things, if not all things, too much of a good thing is bad. So as much as, yes, sometimes conceding in a particular matter, if you are always conceding in everything, you get to a point where you sometimes don't see the need to voice out a particular opinion, because you're like so used to voicing your opinion, but then ending up withdrawing or conceding and saying, okay, things will go the way that the other person sees them, or the way that the other person suggests that they should go. So you get to a point where you end up not seeing the point of saying your view, right? Which is a bad thing, because then your view is important. Your voice needs to be heard. So I had then gotten to a point where I was conceding even when it's not necessary. Even in things that I could voice my opinion and he could have said, yes, it's fine, or whatever the case may be. So I knew that the way to finding myself, my way back to my opinionated self, my the self that would voice her opinion, the self that would speak her part, I knew that I needed to put in certain work, and I just was not 100% sure of my willingness to put in that work, because I had to then look at the matter beyond the surface level of just not communicating or the surface level of conceding my opinion. Why am I doing that? So going backwards and backwards and digging deeper and deeper until I get to the root cause. I keep on asking the question why. I come up with an answer and I say, but why do you have this behavior? I come up with an answer. And until I got to the very bottom of the problem. And then it was to work my way out, to work my way up. And that was not pleasant. It's not pleasant sometimes to face the real reason why we do things in a certain way. And so the point I'm trying to make is that we've got to be willing, right? We've got to be willing to do the work. We've got to be willing to take the path that will lead us back to ourselves, whatever that path may look like, and no matter how difficult that path may be. And that willingness is accompanied by commitment, which is hard, especially for a person who's like me, who's a planner, who wants to know how's this going to start, what's the middle going to look like, how's it going to end. I mean, being in the events industry, you are all about the detail of what is going to happen and how it's going to happen. And so years and years and years and years of being in that industry and having that training, it's spilled over into my life to say I want to know what is going to happen. I want to know what I can expect out of this journey so that I can prepare myself, right? But what I've learned is that life is not always like that. Life is not an event that you plan the beginning, the middle, and the end of, and you know the color of the flowers, and you know the tablecloths, and you know the menu. Life is not like that. We don't have all of those details. So when we actually commit, right, to the journey, the actual thing that we're committing to is the end goal. So we are committing to the healed version of ourselves. We are committing to the better version of ourselves, the version of ourselves that has a good relationship with other people, the version of ourselves that knows how to forgive and to apologize, the version of ourselves that knows how to shift perspectives. So we may, yes, be committing to the journey, but what is going to keep us on the journey and give us the strength and the stamina to be able to endure what happens and what comes along is the end goal in mind, right? In the previous video, I spoke about keeping the end goal in mind and knowing your why, right? So that why, the reasons is what's going to keep you on the course. It's what's going to keep encouraging you. And so it's really about showing up in your everyday life in a work suit, essentially. That's what it means. It means that you are ready for the mess, because the mess is going to be there, okay? And the beautiful thing is that the mess is not always going to be there. So when a building site, when there's work at a building site, it's messy, it's muddy, it's dirty, it's unattractive. It's all the things that we try to run away from, right? But it is so important to remember that when we see the building up and beautiful, it didn't start like that. It started in that mess, but the foundation eventually gets done and the walls start coming up, and the walls eventually get done and the roof starts coming up, and then the windows, and then the paint, and then, you know, all the aesthetics start coming together. And at the end of the day, you've got a beautiful building that everybody marvels at, that everybody loves to visit or be in. But it didn't start that way. So we may want to be these amazing people, but it doesn't start there. Amazing is work. Amazing is intention. So until we get to the point where we are those people, and then we just every now and again do a tweak here, do a tweak there, do an upgrade here. So we do all of those things and the building is done, it's already up. Okay, and the work that you would have done will not be in vain. When you decide to do renovations, it doesn't mean that the entire house is, or the entire building is, a total disaster. You still love it very much, but you want to upgrade it, you want to do renovations, you want to make it better. And so once we get to the version of ourselves that we want to be, what we are left to do and what we carry on doing, and that's why the work of self-development, the work of improving ourselves, the work of healing, the work of wellness, the work of self-mastery is ever continuous, because we will want to upgrade, we will want to bring in certain elements that we never thought to bring in, or that we never knew to be necessary before. Okay, so practically showing up in that work suit is about having critical conversations and with yourself and the people in your life, and being really, 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 really honest, no matter how difficult it is. It's about being present. It's about being uncomfortable. It's about being accountable. It's about learning to apologize, and not just apologizing, but also learning the forgiveness, forgiving ourselves and forgiving other people. So we apologize to ourselves and we apologize to other people. We need to start treating ourselves the way that we treat the people that we truly love and we truly value in our lives. There are people that we are able to forgive, but we're not able to forgive ourselves. So the same grace that we extend to other people, the same grace that we expect people to extend to us, we need to be able to extend to ourselves during this messy, difficult, necessary process. It is going to be shifting, it is going to be moving, it is going to be uncomfortable, but all of that is part of the work that we need to do in order for us to truly get to a place where we see our scars as our beauty spots, where we understand our scars as our beauty spots. It is a very deliberate work. It is not just about trusting the process, but it is very much about entrusting yourself within that process. The experiences that we've been through, we've already been through them. They're not going to get erased. They're not going to change. So they might as well work for our good. They might as well work to our advantage. They might as well serve us. They are here already. The experiences are here. The scars are here. All these things might as well work to our advantage. Might as well say that, you know what, I didn't go through all of what I went through just to come sit here and be defeated and be discouraged and just want to give up. I might as well have gone through all of that for a reason, for a purpose, and I'm going to gain something out of that. And if I've come this far, surely I'm closer to the end than I was before. There's a saying that says that you're not starting from zero, you're not starting from scratch, you're starting from experience. So there's a lot that we learn, there's a lot that we encounter, there's a lot that we can actually use to our advantage going forward in our lives. So really let's commit ourselves to that deliberate work. Let's commit ourselves to the journey. Because another thing that I realized and learned about scars is that once, and now if we speak like from a physical perspective, once a wound becomes a scar, it means that it has healed. So that's why I'm saying that you actually come way further than what you think. The fact that you see a scar, the fact that there is a scar means that you have healed. The absolute hardest part is over. Unbelievably so, but it actually is. And so might as well, like I'm saying, that I have gone through it. I've gone through the most painful part of healing the wound, of of the difficultness of it all. I've gone through the healing of the wound, and now I'm really at a point where I've healed, right? But I just need to go through the understanding of that healing. So I got burnt here, right, a while ago, and it was sore, and it was just all sorts of things with it. But now I'm fine. Like, I'm touching it, and the only thing that's reminding me, or the only reason why I still remember, I know that something happened, is because there's a mark. But this mark, like, no matter what I do to it, it's not so anymore. Why? Because it is a scar that is left over. It is a testament that I went through something and I survived it. It is a reminder that I'm actually stronger than I think I am. And so the work is part of the work is shifting perspective and understanding about, because I have a scar doesn't mean that there's no work that I have done. Whether I've been conscious and deliberate of that work or not, but there has been work that has been done. And so that means that the only thing that's left is me understanding that work. What is it, right? What can I learn from it, and what can I take from it moving forward? Because now, if something happens again, of which my husband has said nothing must happen to me for the rest of this year, in terms of me hurting myself physically. But if something happens again, I'm not going to feel the same way. Yes, it will hurt, right? But I'm not going to doubt my ability to carry through the way I've doubted my ability previously. I should have better trust in myself. In Dogma, I have endured things. Ndapumela, I got through. And that means that I've got grit in me, I've got resilience in me, I've got strength in me, I've got power in me, I've got ability in me. And all of those things you wouldn't know that you have if you didn't go through the things that you've been through. That's why I'm saying that the experiences that we've been through are our experiences. Let's own up to them. Let's own up to them, and let's take the lessons out of them. Let us refuse to come out of the war without spoils. What are the spoils that you are taking out from every war, from every pain, from every experience that you've been through? Because that's part of accepting your journey. I went through it in Nigeria and this, and you're counting these things. What have you gotten out of that? And how are you going to use those things going forward? How are you going to use those things to enrich yourself, to enrich your life, to enrich the lives of the people around you, to enrich yourself and your experiences going forward and your relationships? I think we take for granted these things, but this is how we get to see our scars as our beauty spots. Certainly, that's the path I've taken, and it's helped me. It's helped me so much. It's helped me very much. And so I hope that this video was informative. I hope that it is helpful, and I hope that there's some things that you can take out of it going forward for your journey to seeing and understanding your scars to be your beauty spots. As there's people that go and create or make a tattoo around their scars, and I found that to be quite interesting, because that's them taking their scar and making it a beauty spot, but like quite literally and quite physically and quite evidently. And so we might not go and siyokwenza tattoos, but let me show you that we can shift perspective, we can be willing to do the hard work, we can be willing to show up and be committed to showing up, and eventually Nati we will get there, you know. Not because it's easy, but because it's doable. So yeah, once again, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Follow me on my social media pages on Instagram and Facebook, and share this content with someone that you think will gain something out of it, and hit the thumbs up. And also, let's have a conversation in the comment section. Tell me what your thoughts are. Tell me what you're feeling. Tell me what you're going through. Tell me what's your takeout from all of this. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video.